Hey everybody, it's Mr. Bierbauer again with another art lesson. This week we're going to be reading a book called The Dot and be discussing what we can do when we need some inspiration for artwork. So the only materials you'll need today will be your paper, your pencil, and then your coloring materials. This will be the week of January 11th for a lot of you guys. If we are behind 1 week, it'll be January 18th. So we're going to start our class like we always do with our artist promise. Remember, this is our agreement for how we're going to work together during class. So as artists, we will always try our best, respect ourselves, our friends, and our artwork, take responsibility, imagine new things, support each other, and take time to clean up. Last week, we really focused on responsibility. This week, we're going to work on imagining. Our I can statement for today is I can create an original artwork based on the book The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. So here's a couple questions for y'all to just think about for a minute, and then we will discuss. First of all, has there ever been a time when you just felt like you couldn't draw? Or maybe you couldn't draw what you wanted to do? And then also, have you ever wanted to make art, but you just didn't know what to do or where to start? What did you do in those cases? I'm going to show y'all a couple examples. So first of all, remember, making art is like playing a sport. The more you practice, the better you're going to get. So if you draw a little bit every day, no matter what it is, you're going to get better and better every day. All right, so where can an artist look for ideas? So you got your blank paper here, and you're ready to draw, and you are stuck. Where are some places you could look for ideas? I'll give you a couple examples. First of all, an artist might look towards music as an idea. So do you remember when we looked at this painting by Vasily Kandinsky, Composition 8? We said that this was really inspired by music, and there's even that YouTube video that shows the animation of that ball bouncing around to the music. Remember, Vasily Kandinsky was a big music fan. He was friends with a lot of musicians at the time, and he had that thing called synesthesia, where when he saw artwork, he would hear music, or when he heard music, he would see colors and see artwork. So he turned to music. So maybe just sit down, turn some music on, listen to it, see if that gives you any ideas. Another place you could go for inspiration is look at some other artists' work. So these are two artworks, Constellation by Calder, 1943, and The Migratory Bird by Miro, 1941. Alexander Calder was an artist who really liked making mobiles, so he would have ones that are hanging down and balanced and floating around, and he made sculptures. And you can see he really liked using these wires, these long, skinny wires, and those shapes. And then Miro, we actually looked at an example of his work at Kirkman Park. It was the one that we said was the circus. It was a little bit creepy, but he has a lot of those same types of things, even though his is a painting. He still used those long lines, those shapes, those dots in between. So there are different types of work, but they have a common inspiration. They used each other for examples and to get better and better. So if you have an artist you like, maybe sit down, look through some of their stuff, and see if there's anything there that really makes you want to draw. And then some artists are just inspired by particular styles of artwork. I don't know if you guys have seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but it's an awesome movie. Basically, in the movie, different Spider-Mans from all different universes get sucked together and they're fighting on the same team. You can see each of these spider people is done in a different style. This is the traditional Spider-Man. This is the brand new teenage Spider-Man who's still figuring out what's going on. This is Spider-Girl. This one's Spider-Man Noir. So he's from like black and white, old-timey detective comics. She is from an anime-type Spider-Man with a huge spider mech. And then this is Spider-Ham, who is just kind of a traditional sort of children's cartoon, like the old Looney Tunes or Tiny Toons, anything like that. So they're all Spider-Men or Spider People, but they're all done in different styles. So if there's a style you really love, maybe you love anime, then you could draw something in anime. If you really love something else, just look at some of those, think about what you can do. Hopefully they give you some ideas. What if you can think of nothing and you're still stuck? Sometimes all it takes is getting a mark down on that paper. So The Dot is a story about a little girl who says that she can't do any artwork, and you can see she ends up starting with a dot and comes up with some really, really cool stuff. So we're going to read this book. Think about what you could make if you started with a dot, and then that's what we're going to be drawing.
The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a quick, strong jab. There. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper back toward Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn. Her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the red. She discovered that she could make a purple dot. Vashti kept experimenting. Lots of little dots and many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's mini dots made quite a splash. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Please, sign it." The end.
All right. I hope everybody really enjoyed that book. I thought it was a cute book, but it also shows an idea of, you just need support. You need an idea. So here are a couple examples that I made just starting with a dot. You're going to do your own artwork. You're going to start with a dot or a circle and make it into whatever you want. You can see here, I started with a little blue dot in the center and just kept adding lines going out and out and out. So it looks like maybe a firework or a flower. And then over here, I just started with a dot, decided I wanted to turn it into an emoji, and then just started adding more and more and more emojis. This can be however you want. Just make sure, first of all, you're going to start with a dot, any size, any color, wherever you want on your paper. After that, you can add more dots if you want. and then use those dots to make any sort of picture, design, or pattern. You can use some of the elements of art that we've talked about, like line, color, shape, pattern, texture, in your artwork. You can use some, you can use all of them. And then remember, if you're working at home, submit your artwork on Canvas. But really, this one is all about imagination. You can do whatever you want. All you have to do is start with a dot. I can't wait to see what you got. Thank you so much.